These are real aviation incidents caught on camera. Some happened during landing, others happened during helicopter operations, rescue flights, or mountain work. In each case, the video shows how quickly a routine flight can turn into an emergency. January 18th, 2026, near Camas, Utah. A Bell 206L1 helicopter lost control moments later.
Oh, fuck no.
According to the NTSB preliminary report, the helicopter was operating in a snow-covered mountain area near Wolf Creek Summit. The pilot reported that after landing, the skids rocked backward. He brought the helicopter back into a hover and then tried to depart. At about 150 feet above the ground, the helicopter began rotating clockwise. The pilot used full left anti-torque pedal and lowered the collective, but the rotation continued. All 4 people on board survived. 1 passenger was seriously injured. The pilot and 2 other passengers received minor injuries. The final cause has not been released yet, but the confirmed problem was a loss of yaw control during departure from a high mountain landing area. This incident shows how quickly the margin can disappear in helicopter operations. High elevation, snow, trees, and limited space can turn a short departure into a serious emergency in seconds. The lesson is simple but important. In mountain flying, the escape path matters as much as the landing spot.
Turn left on Sanford.
Oh, I gotta take a picture. Nana wants a picture. Whoa!
November 8th, 2025, near an airport in Idaho. An experimental SS-7 Supersport airplane came down short of the runway.
Little plane.
Yeah, small little plane. Let's be careful with
Does
that.
it
It's
that
gonna
way?
not crash with this.
Where did it go?
It's out here in front
this
of
guy,
us.
Yeah, this guy's closed the road for those. That's okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you see the little.
Turn left on Sanford.
Oh, I gotta take
According to the NTSB final report, the airplane was on a visual approach to runway 10 left at the Boise airport in Idaho. It crashed at an intersection about 2,500 feet northwest of the airport. Dash camera video showed the airplane hitting a traffic light before it came to rest on the road. Both people on board survived with minor injuries. The airplane was badly damaged, including the wings, body, and tail section. The pilot later said he did not remember the accident flight. He also reported no mechanical failures before impact. Police reported signs of alcohol impairment after the crash. Breath tests showed alcohol levels of 0.21 and 0.17. The NTSB determined the probable cause was the pilot flying while impaired by alcohol, which led to impact with obstacles during approach.
We're just like waiting for a minute at our house. Oh my gosh.
We will leave. It's okay.
Wow.
You see that's the
Yeah.
Turn left on Sanford.
Oh, I gotta
This accident is a hard reminder that flying leaves no room for impaired judgment. A normal approach can become dangerous very quickly when decision-making, altitude control, and reaction time are affected. The lesson is clear. Alcohol and aviation do not mix. Even a small aircraft, close to the runway, can become a serious danger to the people on board and to anyone on the ground.
That's okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you see the little.
May 17th, 2026, Berlin, Germany. A Condor Airbus A320 was moments from landing at Berlin-Brandenburg Airport. Then, just before touchdown, the approach suddenly became much more serious.
Habt ihr das gesehen?
The aircraft is operating Condor Flight DE-4095 from Frankfurt to Berlin. According to available incident reports, the Airbus A320 was already on final approach when a flock of small birds crossed its path. Several birds were reportedly drawn into both engines. Despite that, the aircraft remained controllable. The crew continued the landing, touched down safely, used reverse thrust, and taxied to the apron under the aircraft's own power. There were no reports of a crash or injuries. The aircraft then remained on the ground in Berlin for technical inspection after the bird strike affected both engines. The confirmed cause of this incident was a bird strike during final approach. The point is clear. Even a routine final approach can change in 1 second. Wildlife control around airports, quick crew judgment, and a stable landing setup all matter when there is no extra time left. March 25th, 2026. Hout Bay, Cape Town, South Africa. A Bell U H-1H Huey firefighting helicopter crashed moments later. The helicopter was working over Table Mountain National Park during firefighting work. It was supporting crews on the ground while fire burned on the slopes above Hout Bay. According to South African aviation officials, the helicopter hit the mountain slope during the mission. After impact, the pilot could not keep control, and the helicopter crashed near the fire area. The pilot was alone on board. He survived and was taken to the hospital for medical checks. Working on fire reported that his injuries were minor. The helicopter was damaged, and an official investigation was opened to determine what happened. At this stage, the confirmed event is that the helicopter struck the mountain during firefighting work. The final report has not been released yet. But this incident shows how little margin helicopter crews can have when working close to steep slopes, smoke, changing wind, and rising ground. Firefighting from the air can require slow flight near obstacles, sometimes with very little room to move away. The key point is terrain awareness, planning a way out, and constantly watching wind and slope. In this case, the pilot survived, but the video shows how quickly a firefighting mission can become a serious emergency. August 1st, 2023, Quebec City, Canada. A Cessna 152 training aircraft lost control moments later. The aircraft was operated by Horizon Aviation Quebec and was flying from Quebec City Airport. The pilot was a student pilot, flying alone on his first solo flight. During the landing on runway 24, the aircraft touched down hard and bounced. Airport camera footage, reviewed by investigators, showed that the nose wheel touched first. After the bounce, the airplane moved off the left side of the runway. The pilot then tried to go around, but by that point, the airplane was already very low, very slow, and no longer lined up with the runway. It became airborne again over the grass, crossed near a taxiway, and turned back toward the runway area. As it climbed only a short distance above the ground, the left wing stalled. The aircraft rolled left, started to enter a spin, and struck the ground in a steep, nose-down position. The student pilot was seriously injured. There was no fire after impact. Investigators found no sign of a mechanical failure, and weather was not considered a factor. This is important for every training flight. After a bad bounce or an unstable landing, the choice has to be made early. Waiting too long removes options, and close to the ground, even a small training aircraft can stall before there's time to recover. November 30th, 2025, near Lunuwila, Sri Lanka. A Sri Lanka Air Force Bell 212 went down moments later. The helicopter was taking part in disaster relief work after Cyclone Ditwa. It was flying near the Lu-Nu-Wi-La bridge area, close to Jin-O-Ya, while helping people affected by flooding on the ground. According to early reports, the crew was looking for a safe place to continue the relief mission when the helicopter lost lift and control. Early inquiries reported that rotor speed had dropped to about 60%. The crew then attempted an emergency landing in the nearest safe area they could use. The helicopter came down into Jin-O-Ya. All 5 people on board were rescued and taken to the hospital. But the captain, Wing Commander Nirmal Siambalapitiya, later died from his injuries. The 4 other crew members survived. The full investigation is still needed to confirm exactly why the rotor speed dropped. The known problem was a sudden loss of lift and control during a flood rescue flight. In helicopter flying, rotor speed is critical. When rotor speed drops too low, lift can disappear very fast, and the crew may have only seconds to choose a place to land. It also shows how difficult rescue flying can be after a major storm. High water, people on the ground, bridges, power lines, and limited landing space all leave less margin. The key point is clear. In rescue work, the mission matters, but aircraft power, landing space, and a clear path out must come first. October 15th, 2023, near Anorí, Antioquia, Colombia. A Colombian Army Mi-17 helicopter crashed moments later. The helicopter was being used for military supply and troop transport flights. According to the Colombian Army, it went down near Anorí, Colombia. The aircraft came down onto a house in a rural area. 5 military personnel and 2 civilians were injured. They were taken to the local hospital for medical care. No fatalities were reported. The helicopter was badly damaged. The Army said a team of specialists was sent to begin the investigation. At this stage, the confirmed cause has not been released. What is confirmed is this. A military helicopter was flying low during a supply and transport mission and came down near people on the ground. When helicopters work close to small communities, the risk is not only for the crew. It is also about houses, streets, wires, terrain, and people nearby. Low-altitude helicopter work needs a clear way out before the problem starts. Once a helicopter loses height near buildings, there may be almost no time left to protect the crew, the aircraft, and the people below.
Todos salieron, sí. Sí salieron. Sí.
August 8th, 2010, Borovaya Airfield near Minsk, Belarus. A Hughes 500 helicopter crashed moments later. The helicopter was taking part in the CIS Helicopter Sports Open Cup. The pilot was performing in front of spectators during the event. During a low aerobatic maneuver, the helicopter did not recover with enough height. It struck the ground a few hundred meters from the spectator area and caught fire. The pilot, 74-year-old Gunther Zimmer from Germany, did not survive. No spectator injuries were reported in the available sources. The helicopter was destroyed by the crash and the fire after impact. The exact final cause was not clearly published in the sources I found, but the reported sequence points to not enough height left to recover after the maneuver. This accident shows how unforgiving low-level aerobatics can be. At higher altitude, a pilot may still have space to correct a mistake. Close to the ground, that space disappears. For any display flight, the most important safety margin is height. A maneuver may look controlled at the start, but the aircraft still needs enough room to recover. The key point is clear. In airshow flying, the crowd line, recovery height, and a safe way out must be protected before the maneuver begins. June 20th, 2020, near Colosano, Sicily, Italy. An AS-350B3 helicopter lost control moments later. The helicopter had been used for aerial work near a rocky ridge. Earlier that day, the pilot had completed about 40 external load flights, carrying material for work on the mountainside. At the end of the job, he made one more flight to pick up 3 people from the ridge. During the pickup, the helicopter was hovering very close to the rock face. The ridge was on the pilot's left side. The investigation said the main rotor blades struck the mountain wall. That contact made the helicopter impossible to control. It fell down the slope and came to rest against a metal barrier. The pilot received minor injuries. The 3 people waiting on the ridge were not injured. This accident shows why hovering close to terrain leaves almost no room for distance errors. A helicopter can look stable, but the rotor disc is much wider than the cabin. When the obstacle is beside the pilot, especially on the blind side, a small position error can quickly become impossible to recover from. In mountain work, the safest pickup point is not only where people are standing, it is where the pilot can keep clear rotor space, see the obstacle, and still have a way out. January 17th, 2017, Santa Monica, California. A Cessna 170B had a landing problem moments later.
That's the guy on the other side. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Holy.
The aircraft was landing at Santa Monica Airport. Available public information says a wing struck the runway during landing. The damage was limited. No injuries were listed. This was not a fatal crash. There is no confirmed public information showing an aircraft fault or a detailed final cause. What is confirmed is wing contact with the runway during landing. Even a small landing incident can show how little margin there is close to the ground. During landing, the aircraft needs to stay aligned, stable, and under control until the rollout is finished. If the airplane is drifting, banking, or not settling normally, the safer choice may be to go around early. That decision has to come while there is still enough speed, runway, and control left. The point is clear. A landing is not finished at touchdown. It is finished only when the aircraft is safely under control on the runway. April 3rd, 2025, Sanford, Florida. A Cessna 182P lost control during landing.
Hey, Tom, what's this guy doing? What's this guy doing? Looks like he's going to try to crash into one of our planes.
flight was a private trip to Lakeland, Florida. According to the NTSB preliminary report, the pilot had tried several times to land there but could not complete the landing. While holding, he became disoriented and was no longer sure where he was. He contacted air traffic control and asked for help. The pilot then became concerned about the fuel remaining. He saw another airport nearby, later identified as Orlando Sanford International Airport, and decided to land there. On the first attempt, the airplane bounced on the runway and the pilot went around. After that, witnesses saw the airplane flying low and not well coordinated over the airport. During the next landing attempt, the aircraft contacted the runway nose down. The nose gear collapsed. The pilot received minor injuries. The airplane was badly damaged, but there was no fire. The final cause is not known yet, but the known sequence is clear. More than one missed landing. The pilot was not sure where he was, fuel became a concern, then came a bounced landing, and after that, another low approach with very little room left. When a pilot is not sure where he is, or has too much happening at once, asking for help early matters. A safe landing is not only about reaching a runway, it is about being stable, lined up, and under control. Once the aircraft is low, slow, and not lined up, the margin can disappear very quickly.
Dude, we might be sitting here for a while.